Let's get into Monday Night Raw from June the 16th, 2025. A pretty boring show for the most part. Not really much to talk about. Yes, Goldberg showing up was predictable, so the dirt sheets got that right, so it is what it is. Who cares? This show is just kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. This is a very filler episode, if we're being honest. There were no stars on this show until the very end, and that's the problem. If you have Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on your show, use them. Don't wait until the last 2 minutes of the show to actually use them. But whatever. It is what it is. So we kicked the show off with Liv Morgan. She didn't really say much of anything. She just talked about the reason why she attacked Nikki Bella last week. She said that this is her division, and Nikki Bella had to learn the hard way, and now Nikki's sitting at home watching her on television where she should be. And then Liv Morgan puts over the fact that she paved her own way. Nobody helped her out at all. She's the first and only 4-time women's tag team champion. That makes her the greatest women's tag team champion of all time. So, Liv says she's not asking for respect anymore. She's demanding it. And she wants her rematch for the women's world title that she never got. So, Io shows up. She cuts a bad promo. Basically, she says, she'll be a fighting champion. And Io then tells Liv if she wants the title, she can have it. So then Io then tosses the title to Liv. She hits a drop kick, and she kicks Dominic Mysterio in the head, and she stands tall, and that was it. So I guess this is a fine little way to kick the show off, but it is what it is. It's not really all that important, for being honest. Moving on. So we get more Judgment Day stuff. It doesn't really matter. Whatever. This leads us into the first match of the night. Stephanie Vaquer versus Ivy Nile versus Asuka versus Raquel Rodriguez. Queen of the Ring tournament for the 4-way. Asuka wins, which makes sense. Asuka wins via the hip attack, basically. That's all it was. Match was okay. I figured Stephanie Vaquer wasn't going to win here. We all knew that you only had 2 choices in this match, Asuka or Stephanie Vaquer. We knew that Ivy Nile and Raquel Rodriguez wasn't going to win at all, so they were both non-factors. Rhea came out towards the end of the match to get involved, and then she beat up Raquel. And then Asuka, like I said, she hits the Empress Impact, which is basically just a hip attack, aka Jada Parker's finishing move, the Hypnotic. So that's fine, but I wish that Asuka would have went with the Asuka lock and brought that back. That'd have been better. She got a really good reaction. Her and Stephanie Vaquer did, and they had pretty good little stare downs throughout the match. So that's cool. Good shit there. So whatever. Do I think that Asuka will win Queen of the Ring? There's a possibility she could. There's a weight to that argument for sure, but I'm still going with Jade Cargill. I think she's going to be the woman to win it all, basically. That makes the most sense because you've got more stuff that she can do with Naomi. So that makes the most sense. You could have Jade win at SummerSlam and then immediately have Naomi cash in on Jade. And then you have Jade and Naomi feuding for the remainder of the summer into early fall. So, yeah, there's that. So, all right, that's fine there. Moving right along. We get some Judgment Day stuff. It's not really that important. I don't give a shit about it. So, whatever. This leads us into Gunther. So he shows up. He talks about how how Jey Uso was better than him, but that was just for one night only. Every other night, Gunther's untouchable. So Gunther says he learned his lesson when he cussed him out in front of his family. Gunther doesn't care about rumors. The reality is Seth Rollins holds the Money in the Bank contract. Gunther has what Rollins wants. A few weeks ago, Rollins told Gunther he's a target when he wins back his World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther says he'll make it easy for Rollins. He's right here. So then Goldberg shows up, got a pretty good reaction. He says that him and Gunther have unfinished business from Atlanta. And then he says on July 12th, Saturday night's main event, it's going to be Gunther who's next. So Gunther's shocked, and then he dips out. This is fine. It makes sense. This is what Goldberg wanted. He got what he wanted. Basically, he wanted his last match in Atlanta. Makes perfect sense. Match should not be long. Maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. You know, just a spear, jackhammer. Gunther kicks out. Gunther hits a couple of power bombs, locks in his sleeper hold, and Goldberg goes night-night, basically. He basically passes out. So, you know, there's that. I know people on the internet are going to shit all over it, but, you know, Goldberg, to me, is still a star. I would love for Goldberg to win, only for Seth Rollins to come out moments later and then cash in on Goldberg, basically. But the Gunther thing, the Gunther experiment, for me, I'm over it. I mean, I'm a fan of Gunther as a worker, but outside of that, it's boring, man. It's boring. And hopefully Gunther has a short title reign. Hopefully his title reign is over with. I would say, if not Saturday night's main event, definitely SummerSlam. It's over for him. So, whatever. But, you know, who really gives a fuck? Moving right along. JD McDonough is defeated by AJ Styles. Who cares? Dirty Dom, he gets involved. AJ takes him out, basically. So this is going to set up a match between AJ and Dominic Mysterio at Crown Jewel, which is great. So that makes perfect sense. So good shit there. That's good. Moving on. This leads us into Becky Lynch and Bayley. So Bayley said that she doesn't take this business for granted. She talks about she relies on the opportunity to stand before the people. She said it's what she was born to do. It's what she puts her heart and soul into every single night. 2 months ago, she was stripped of an opportunity at WrestleMania, where she was going to become where it was a match for the women's World Tag Team Championships, something that she holds near and dear to her heart. She says that what happened to her made her stronger and better. She may have said in the past how much Becky Lynch has been a chip on her shoulder, but she's always been 2 steps ahead. Bayley's basically focused on taking everything away from Becky. So Becky shows up. She mentions fake-ass friends. She says Bayley has a legacy and a future Hall of Famer, but Bayley doesn't mind having those who need it. So Becky then mocks her and says she used to fight for the people, but they stopped fighting for her, which is a good line there. The people stopped fighting for Bayley too, which is sort of kind of true. A lot of people don't really care about Pam anymore. I mean, I still like Bayley. She's okay, but her time is basically past her, pretty much. I mean, I'm just being honest. I know people hate that, but it's the truth. I mean, come on, let's get real. Like, Bayley has done everything you can possibly do. What more can you do with Bayley? There's nothing else. There is not a damn thing that that Bayley can do now. There's nothing else she can do. She's just there at this point just to really be there, you know. So, Bayley says that Becky is insecure. She knows that Becky's worried about what people think. Bayley mentions that Becky Lynch attacked Lara Valkyria the next night because she was scared when she lost the tag team titles. So Bayley basically just So, Bailey asked if Becky Lynch remembers what it's like to scratch and claw for a title. Or is her head too far for her ass? Becky says she doesn't remember. She asked Bailey if she remembers what gold feels like. So Becky begins to lean against the ropes. Bailey tells her to step up. Becky Lynch says if Bailey wants a match, she can have it, but it's not going to be for the title. It's non-title. Becky says she'll see Bailey in Columbia. In Columbus next week. Columbus, Ohio. And then so Becky then swings for Bailey, but Bailey dodges out, and then Bailey takes out Becky, and that was it. So this is fine. This actually makes perfect sense. I get where they're going with this. Maybe we could get a match out of them at Evolution. So maybe that's where this thing begins, maybe. Because they haven't faced each other in 2 years. So it's been a while since they faced each other. So, yeah. Moving on. So Kathy Kelly asked Jey Uso about losing the title. Jey Uso says he's got Gunther's respect when he beat him at WrestleMania. Then Gunther got Jey Uso's respect last week. They're tied. If he has to win King of the Ring to get another shot, then you can say less. It's like, bro, no one gives a fuck about this shit anymore. I mean, Rikishi is having basically a conniption online about, well, we didn't put Jey over enough. He didn't have a long title reign. It's like, bro, he was never meant to have a long title reign, man. If Jey was main event Jey Uso, if Jey was the right-hand man, I could see giving him maybe like a 3 to 6 month reign. But it was fine. I mean, Jey Uso was not in the long-term plans. He's just not. He was just there, he was just somebody that Triple H wanted to go with because he was getting himself over with the Yeats and all that stuff, and Triple H just went over. I mean, just chose him for a brief second. That was it. Like, who cares, Come on, bro. Moving on. This leads us into Nick Aldis. He's backstage. Nick Aldis says that AJ is going to have a chance to win the title at Night of Champions. So that's cool. Makes perfect sense. That should be a decent match there. Moving on. So Nick Aldis talks to Bailey backstage, saying that next week it's going to be Bailey versus Becky Lynch for the IC title. So that's good. And then Bailey runs into Lyra Valkyria. So Bailey apologizes for not getting back to Lyra Valkyria. It's been a rough 2 months. Now she's doing what's best for her. Lyra says when Bailey wins the title, she'll also do what's best for her. Okay, so this is obviously going to set up a triple threat match. Obviously, we know next week that Lyra's going to get involved. That's a no fucking brainer. So why wouldn't she get involved? I mean, come on. That's easy as 1, 2, 3. I mean, we know this is setting up for a triple threat match. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And you guys know that I despise triple threat matches, but it is what it is. Triple H, I'm the game. It's like, who really wants a triple threat match at this point? But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I'd rather them get over the triple threat match now, and then maybe like around SummerSlam you can do something with Becky and Lyra again and really put an end to their feud. So, because I think that if you go ahead and do a triple threat at Revolution, then you have, at Evolution, then you have Becky go after Lyra again, it makes the most sense. You can build you can add some more to the story, and it would last until SummerSlam between Becky and Lyra. So, whatever. Moving on. So this leads us into Kairi Sane versus Liv Morgan. The match didn't last, but maybe about 90 seconds, basically. So basically, Liv Morgan was trying to get out of a dragon screw, and to no avail. It basically was just a freak accident. And Kairi Sane basically wins. The match is called off, so it sucks. Kairi is not bad. I think the reason why all these injuries, the reason why all these injuries are happening is it's not a bunch of house shows. So the talent aren't able to get familiar with each other. I think they're only doing, maybe I think 200 house shows a year or less now. So that gives the talent less days to work with each other and stuff like that. So, but Liv does have a legit shoulder injury. She'll probably be out for a good 3 months. She should be back around sometime in September. It usually takes about 12 to 16 weeks to heal. So yeah, she should be back around September. It sucks that she's gonna miss Evolution. She's gonna miss SummerSlam, and she's gonna miss Night of Champions. So it sucks. She's gonna miss all that, but stuff happens, man. Shit happens. It really does suck. So we wish her nothing but the best, and hopefully she makes a speedy recovery. And I'm guessing Triple H is going to have to move away from Nikki Bella. I don't know what they're going to do with Nikki Bella now. I have no idea. So I don't know. Maybe they could do something with maybe Roxanne Perez steps up and something like that maybe. I'm guessing you can do Roxanne and Nikki at Evolution, so maybe something like that could play out. We got about 4 weeks left. Is it 4 or 5 weeks? So we got some time. Moving on, this leads us into Sami Zayn. He has a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly. So Karrion Kross walks up. Karrion Kross says that Sami Zayn is an insane person who's repeating the exact same thing over and over again. This upcoming Friday, Sami Zayn will face a guy who knows how to win in Randy Orton. Sami Zayn will lose while Randy Orton goes on to be a 15-time world champion. Sami Zayn will stay at 0. Sami Zayn says he thinks that Karrion Kross is a coward. Karrion Kross hides in the shadows and talks in riddles. Karrion Kross doesn't fight because maybe he can't back it up. Sami Zayn has lost and has had the courage to pick himself up. Can Karrion Kross say the same? Sami Zayn is done listening to Karrion Kross talk. Sami says once the King of the Ring is done and over with, his next priority is going to go to Adam Pearce, and they're going to finally have the match once and for all. Okay, this makes sense. Maybe Karrion Kross shows up and costs Sami Zayn the King of the Ring finals. I do think that Sami's going to end up winning on Friday. I don't know how, but he'll end up winning. Randy doesn't need to have doesn't need to be King of the Ring. He just doesn't, in my opinion. Moving on, main event of the evening, King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way. Jey Uso wins. He defeats Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed. Basically, it was just a bunch of interference that happened. So, Penta got involved. LA Knight got involved. Braun Breaker got involved. Seth Rollins came down. Cody came down. Jey Uso got the win via 2 Uso splashes to Bronson Reed. And then Cody and Seth Rollins had a stare down, and that was it. And then Seth Rollins and his boys, they leave. And then Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, they dap up, and that was it. So, there's that. Whatever. My thing again, why the fuck would you not use Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes? You have both of those guys on the show. You could have had Seth Rollins open up the show with a promo, like a 5-minute promo. You could have had Cody Rhodes come out there and interrupt Rollins in the middle of it and, begin to start their stuff. I don't fucking know at this point, but whatever. Monday Night Raw, for the most part, was boring. I did like the Becky and Bayley stuff. That was pretty cool. The main event was okay, but you got a million pieces running around. The Queen of the Ring stuff was alright, too. So, it is what it is. But there were no stars on the show until the end. But what do you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.